Know if indeed you got some, and welcome to our wonderful program tonight. And let me introduce our MC, our host, and that's going to be Sister Louise. So, Louise, are you there?
Unmuting. Hello, everyone. I'm Shanti, and thank you, Brother Eric. And welcome to a brand new month at Harmony House at our Thursday evening conversations. So delighted. So it's my privilege to serve in this capacity and alternating with Michelle every week. And we feel so lucky to be able to be here for everyone and to meet and present all of these wonderful people from around the globe. Who would have thought we would be so privileged? So we have a brand new theme for the month of February, and it is rebuilding inner strength. Inner strength. We certainly need that now more than ever. And the topic this evening is who owns my mind? Now, it might seem obvious to you that you own your mind. It came along with your body, right? Well, for some reason, we allow people and situations to enter our minds and create all kinds of chaos for us. And we buy into that. We buy into that drama, don't we? So we come under the influence, we lose our peace for a variety of reasons. And somehow we start to react from weakness in ourselves, neediness, whatever it is. So tonight we've invited a beautiful speaker, Sister Devki, who is based in St. Martin for a number of years in the Caribbean. And hopefully she will help us to learn how we can stop this kind of I'm going to call it self-abuse. It seems like strong words, but we spend a lot of time in our minds, with our minds making us very dizzy. And so we're going to explore that tonight, how we can befriend our mind and remain peaceful and go back to our natural state of peace, being able to love freely and act accordingly no matter what's going on outside our front door. So just to tell you a little bit about our guest, whom I have not met, I don't believe. Are you here, Sister Devki?
Yes,
there she is.
I am here.
Hi, let me give you a proper introduction. Nice to meet you.
Same
Sister
here,
Devki.
Sister Louise.
Yeah. So Sister Devki has been with the Brahma Kumaris for over 35 years. And originally she was from Guyana, where she coordinated services at one of the centers there for 12 years. And then for the past 14 years, she has been based in St. Martin in the Caribbean. Is it St. Martin or St. Martin? What do you say?
St. Martin, the Dutch side.
Ah, okay. Okay. And not only in St. Martin, St. Martin, but she has coordinated activities in, now I've got to pronounce these right. I didn't do my homework. Seba. All right.
That's right.
I should quit now. Saint Eustatius.
Yes.
Eustatius.
Stacia.
Okay. I think that's Anguilla.
Anguilla, right.
All right.
These are my very close neighbors.
And St. Croix.
And St. Croix.
Okay. The only one I never heard of was the first one. Seba.
Seba. Seba, yes. Very beautiful little island.
It's not touristy though. It's not is it unspoiled? Pretty much.
Unspoiled.
Yeah.
And it has the tiniest airport, what you call it, runaway in the world.
Really?
Yes, and only certain hours of the day flights can take off and land, and as soon as it gets to certain darkness, they are not allowed to fly.
Oh my goodness.
Very, very beautiful island.
Very nice. Maybe someday. Yes. So I just want to tell people that before coming to St. Martin, you opened the center in Aruba.
That's right.
We just had a lovely Sister Rota from Aruba speak a few weeks ago. She was lovely. In fact, I'm still communicating with her a little bit on WhatsApp. And you have traveled to over 50 countries, and you share your spiritual insights, I'm sure. And I've heard that you are called a spiritual social worker.
That's right. That's the title I love very much.
Well, I'm sure you've earned it, and I'm sure that in the next hour we're going to find out just how you have earned that. Please be ours. And we have a lovely audience here waiting to hear what you have to offer them. Many people here come every week. They bring friends. They're not necessarily BKs or students, but some are. So they are very well acquainted with the basics. They know that they come here to find peace, and they go home hopefully bringing something that they didn't come in with. So without further ado, I would love to introduce them to you formally. And thank you again for coming this evening.
Thank you, Sister Louise.
Yes.
And let me say a very warm welcome from the Caribbean. I'm sending you lots and lots of warm sunshine from this end.
We can use it.
I know. Yeah. And we have a lot of turquoise blue water also, and the white sand in the mountains. This is why St. Martin is such a paradise of the Caribbean. And so I want to invite all our listeners to enjoy some of the amenities that we have to offer here in St. Martin. Thank you, Louisa, for that introduction. And today, yes, we all own our mind, but today we are going to talk about what goes on in our minds sometimes. The one who owns our mind owns our happiness, our peace, and as well as our freedom. There are in fact 4 major influences that can disturb our happiness. One is peacelessness, which comes from either situations, possessions, people. So these are 3: people, situations, and possessions are challenges that if we are not careful, if we allow them to penetrate our mind, it can disturb our happiness. And there's a 4th one, which I would like to take up much later. Since our mind is that sacred space, what mechanism do we have in place to protect negative influences from the outside to enter that sacred space? Do we have a stop sign, a safety lock? What attitude do we embrace to prevent what's happening outside to influence us inside? Let's look at our relationship to people. I think it's no longer rocket science. We all know that no one can insult me unless I give them permission. And no one can disrespect me unless I allow them. In fact, it is not people's behavior that disturbs us. It's our expectation from them that cause hurt. I expect people to like my outfit. I expect them to say I look beautiful. They say something opposite, and I get upset. So it's not what they say, but how I felt when I hear what they say. And we all know that we are not just the owner of our mind, we're the owner of our thoughts, our feelings, and our emotions. Isn't that so? So it doesn't matter what's going on outside, but it is in fact my interpretation of what people say or do or what's happening outside. If I am bitter, that becomes the filter through which I process all that is coming towards me. If I have the habit of seeing the glass half full, then obviously that's the only lens I will be looking through. When the glass is green, everything appears green. So it has nothing to do what's happening outside. It's how I interpret their words or their honest opinion. When they say, I don't like your outfit, and I interpret that to mean they don't love me, they don't respect me. This is why they said such hurtful words. And what I do, I justify the pain. I use it as my background playback music all day long. The record in my mind is they don't love me, they don't respect me. It becomes the background music of my life. It's formally recorded in my subconscious mind with my own permission. I choose to allow their words to become recorded in my subconscious mind. And what happens is that what's recorded in my subconscious mind becomes the basis for my negative self talk. Our self talk can have a big influence on how we feel about ourselves. So, what should I do when people say certain words? They express their honest opinion, and I don't feel that's a description of me. What do I do? What is my practice to protect myself from being hurt by those words? One of the practice could possibly be that each individual is an individual in his or her own rights. And they're entitled to their opinion. It's their opinion, not mine. So I promise myself not to take anyone's opinion personally. This is my approach. I know you may have different approaches that works for you, but my approach is it's their opinion and I respect their opinion. They have a right to express how they're feeling. And so that's in relation to people. What about relationship? Um, in fact, what about situation? We talked a little bit about our respond and not reaction to people, how I respond. Now, let's look at situation. How do I respond in a positive way to situations? Of course, we already know we can't change or control people. We can't change the past. And any situation that happens has already happened. And there's absolutely no way we can reverse that which has happened. So, first of all, I accept that it has happened. And a good pointer to keep in mind that every situation that happens does not happen to me, it happens for me. This is the reason why situations come in our life is to provide us with golden opportunity to go a step further,
Absolutely.
to grow, to move from stage one to stage two. And I guess that's why we write exams periodically throughout the semester. Exams are placed, they're given to us as students only with one intention, to grade us and to take us to a higher class. And I don't personally know anyone who signed up for an examination, study for it, arrive at the examination room, but have intention to fail. Nobody does that I know of. Why would I study, invest time and other resources and arrive on time for the examination, but have the intention to fail? So examinations, I write because I want to go to a higher class. And so any challenges, any adversities, any test paper that comes in my life, I welcome them. And if I don't, I'm saying to the universe, I don't want to grow. I have grown a lot. I've gotten to my highest mark and I don't want to grow. I don't want to stretch anymore. So it's our attitude towards situation and circumstances. I want to give one example of a young girl and her mom who came to learn meditation here in St. Martin. And there were a number of other individuals too in the group. So in the very start of the course, I asked them to introduce themselves. And when it was the turn for this young lady, she said, I want to learn meditation because I get very angry. So I asked, why do you get angry? She said, I live in an apartment block, and my neighbor next door, they have a dog, and that dog will come and really mess up my garden, my porch. And no matter how much I try to talk to my neighbor, nothing seems to work. So I said to her, maybe you're sending negative energy to your neighbor, because she was very angry as she was speaking. I said, you sound like a victim. And she said, no, no, I'm not a victim. It's my neighbor and the dog. And I said, maybe you're sending your neighbor and the dog negative energy and they're reacting to that. Again, she was in denial, totally blaming the neighbor and her dog and the neighbor's dog for her anger. So I said to her, I'm going to try one more time. What if tomorrow morning you wake up and you discover that your neighbor and the dog had moved out from the apartment next door? Does that mean that you will never get angry again? That's when she really looked at me and she laughed. And she said, yes, of course I'll get angry. So I said, why? The dog is out of the way and neighbor. She said, because you made me understand that anger is inside of me. And so what the dog or the neighbor was doing, they were triggering my anger. So can I distinguish who are triggers and what are triggers? And at the same time, recognize my responsibility for how I'm feeling and my emotions. If we can do that, we can stop the blame game. And so these are two areas in our life, our relationship with people and situations that come in our lives, how we react or how we respond. And the other aspect, possessions. I can't find my blue shirt, so I'm not going to attend the party. Someone scratched my car, so I'm so mad. My neighbor, they have a new kitchen cabinet. I want one too. And if I don't, I'm going to be very upset. So possessions influence us negatively when we identify with them. We think they are ours. And when we can't get what we want, then we get upset. And what's the fourth and yet the biggest influence in our life that impacts greatly on our happiness and our peace of mind? And that is our deep rooted personality traits, our old way of thinking and behaving which we don't want to change. And so our mind is our chief minister. We have many ministers running our kingdom. If I can call my body and how I run it, I can call myself to be the master. The soul is the master, and there are 8 senses, 5 physical ones, eyes, ears, nose, and there are also 3 subtle ones, our mind, intellect, and personality traits. And all 8 of them, they influence our mind. What we see, what we hear, as soon as we smell fresh bread, our mind go there. As soon as we hear a sound, a beautiful music, we feel like dancing. So all of our 5 physical senses are doors and windows. They're gateway to our state of mind. And above them all, our deep-rooted habit. They have greatest impact on our mind. I want to give one example. I, the soul, I have a mind of my own, which I use to create thoughts, feelings, emotion. So I, the soul, use my own mind to create my own thoughts, feelings, and emotion. And let's say I'm thirsty and I'm thinking, what should I drink? Should I take coffee, tea? Should I take something cold, something hot? Should I take juice? What type of juice should I go for? So there will be many thoughts created. And at some point, I will use my second faculty, my intellect, to process those thoughts and to decide which one I should go for. So let's say I decided to have passion fruit punch because I've got a box of passion fruit punch in the fridge. So once I've decided what I'm going to drink, that's when I will use my physical organs. With the help of my legs, I will go to the fridge and then I will drink the passion fruit punch. So first, I think for myself. Second, I make choices, I make decisions. And third, I act out those decisions. And every action leaves an impression, a memory. In the case of having chosen passion fruit punch, I drink it and I thought, wow, so good. I like it. Or it could be I don't like it. Or I think it's okay. So. Whatever that experience, it is going to record in my subconscious mind. Let's say, for the reason of using an example, that I like the flavor, I like the passion fruit punch. So I record in my subconscious mind the taste, how it felt when I drank it. And after a few days, let's say I feel thirsty again, and I decided to continue having more passion fruit punch. And I take it a second time and a third time. Each time I drink more and more passion fruit punch, the memory of passion fruit punch becomes more pronounced in my subconscious mind. And now, after a while, doesn't take too long, after a while, I develop the habit of drinking passion fruit punch. Let's put all our habits together. Our favorite color, favorite spice, favorite movies, favorite sports, favorite music, put all our habits together. We form our personality. That's why there's a saying, watch your thoughts. They become words. Watch your words. They become action. Watch your actions. They become habit. Watch your habit. They become your personality. Watch your personality. It becomes your destiny. I think today everyone can resonate, they can relate with the idea of watching your thoughts, they become words. They can relate with watch your words, they become action. They can also relate watch your actions, they become habit. But when it comes to habit, shaping, when it becomes habit shaping our personality, we started to back off and we started to point finger and say, I am the way I am because of my upbringing, because of my peer pressure, because of the society, because of the government, because of the parenting I got. So the blame game starts when I look at my personality. And don't even go near destiny. I seriously believe destiny is in God's hand or in the hand of the universe. Isn't that interesting? How do we get there? To assume that my tomorrow, which is the offspring of the choices, decision, and action I perform today, and the seeds I sowed yesterday, my tomorrow obviously will be the outcome of my today as well as my yesterday. So there's a deep connection between my yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So how do we come to this point of playing this blame game? Simple, because we are not ready to take responsibility for how I am, what I am. And the reason why we don't want to take responsibility is because we are so comfortable in our comfort zone. that the idea of change is alien. We resist change as far as we can. Yet, what's the reality around us? There's only one constancy in today's world. One thing we guarantee is happening moment by moment, and that is change. And change that is moving at such an intense speed. And if we are not ready to embrace it, to flow with the change, then obviously we're going to swim against the tide. So it will be quite a struggle to swim against the tide. Why not learn to ride the wave? Why not learn to flow, to adapt, to adjust, and enjoy the journey? And so, if I want to bring about certain change in myself, and that is, if I want to change my old recording, my old mindset, my own old attitude to life, one very important step, and we can still do it because it's still early in the year, we can start creating affirmations. Affirmations are like a lift, which I choose rather than laboriously climbing the steep steps. I choose to take the lift. It is a dose of multivitamins that I need to take every morning to nurture my mind. It's like having a healthy breakfast and having enough energy so that whatever and however strenuous the task ahead, I have the energy to cope. So affirmations early in the morning is like taking your iron tablet or your multivitamin tablets or your boost, whatever it is. Some take fresh juice, green juice, whatever it is you take so that you have enough physical energy. We need to empower our mind. And affirmations ultimately turn into blessings. It is the art of blessing myself. Let's say I say in the morning, I am so grateful that I can see a new day. I'm so blessed that not only do I have a house, but I also have a home. I'm so blessed. And when I have this positive attitude or vision of myself, and then when I go out there, no matter what's happening, I will be able to have that inner power, that inner peace, that resilience to stay above and beyond any form of negative energy that comes towards me. So try creating some affirmation, and whenever you repeat it, one day you will become that. It will be your blessings for your own self. So, for those who are new to BKs, the Brahma Kumaris, I'm going to take a moment to explain this question, who am I? We all call ourselves human being. The human aspect of us is our body, and the being within is the soul. Unlike what we are taught out there in the world, we are taught that we have a soul. Spirituality teaches us that we have a body. We don't have a soul. We are souls and we have a body. Not that I am the body and I have a soul. It's the opposite. So I explained to you already how the soul functions. It has the mind, intellect, and personality. So soul can be considered the master of the body, the king of the senses. And the mind, which is one of the main reasons why we are meeting today, the mind can be considered the chief minister. Because whatever the mind is, that gateway, mind is the gateway to peace, happiness, freedom, health, anything I want. It is the mind that will perceive it, the mind that will conceive it, and then ultimately, like everything that we see physically around us, someone, sometime in the past, sat in a soundproof room and came up with the idea. Born from their mind was the thought, and we have lights, we have fun, we have air condition, we have all the things that we have today. It was born in the mind. So mind is the gateway to, it is in charge of our peace and happiness. What the mind observe and what the mind absorb will determine my feelings and my emotions. Mind can be described as an unruly, spoiled child or a disciplined one. Life will be far less challenging if mind is listening and cooperating with you. Life will be far less challenging if mind works along with you. So what do we do? Should we make our mind our best friend or allow it to be mischievous? We all have to befriend our mind. Like an unruly child, and you recognize there's certain traits in that child that needs to be addressed. And what do? If you see that child needs some kind of help, You befriend that child. You spend quality time with that child. You give that child attention, care, love, regard. That's what we have to do with our mind. Befriend it by spending quality time to understand how it functions, to give it our undivided attention so that it also gives me undivided attention when I need it to work along with me. So I have to give my mind attention, care, love, regard. I have to feed it fresh, nutritious food. Thoughts of love and peace are nutritious food for the mind. You take your dog or your pet for a stroll. How about taking your mind for a walk in nature, a stroll on the beach? Just you and your mind. Just you and your mind, your best friend, your companion. Can you take some time off to go on vacation with your mind? Meaning, really come, like you wanted to get to know someone. You go on a vacation, you make dates with that one, and you spend time to be in the company. So we have to, sooner than later, develop a close relationship and companionship with our mind. I have to be aware of time. So if
That's
Louis,
okay. But before we continue, it's about the time that I usually invite the audience, with your permission, to write a little question they may have for you in the chat box.
yes,
Would you be willing to entertain that?
I will try my best.
Okay. So it seems to me that everything you've said tonight proves your credential as a spiritual social worker. Definitely. And it all points to finding inner power. You said inner peace, inner power. And it seems to me that these are all ways when we are in danger of being the victim of whatever is coming toward us, we can put up that defense, which is incognito, as we say. It's on the inside. And this has been such a beautiful, beautiful presentation of how to take that power. I see we have a comment. I do believe. Someone is saying, "You are awesome, sister," and thank you. And then we have Heidi saying, "Do affirmations speak to the unconscious mind as well as the conscious mind? Will the unconscious mind believe the affirmations if they don't match habits?" Can you address that, sister?
There's a deep connection with our conscious mind and our unconscious mind. Like I said, the first entry, the gateway to our subconscious mind is our conscious mind. I see a scene, I hear something, it first enters my mind. And if I keep thinking it over and over and over again, eventually it will become my perception. It will be my impression. It's like somebody says, this person is dangerous. And I keep repeating that in my mind. And when I meet that person, I'm seeing through the eyes. And I'm looking and thinking this person is dangerous. I haven't met this person. I don't know anything. But my vision changes because of that perception. I hold the perception this person is dangerous, and that colors my vision. It colors my attitude towards that person. It colors my action towards that person. It colors my relationship with that person. And so all that impression that we have collected over the years, we've heard something, we have seen something, and we collect it. And then it's stored in my subconscious mind.
Yes.
And when my mind is a bit idle and not focused and not engaged, what's in our subconscious mind comes up and it becomes part of my conscious mind. So there is a deep connection between my conscious mind and my subconscious mind. My habit is going a step further. It's not just a collection of experiences. You know, I can have an experience about maybe when we were little, we were taught about elves and fairy and tooth fairy and all that stuff. And we have stored that. But over a period of time, with understanding, with knowledge, we change our vision towards Christmas and who brings the gift and who's Santa. We change over a period of time. And so impressions are one thing and habits are another. Habits are something that I consciously engage in doing and repeatedly doing it. And now it has become a part of my personality. So I want to change my habit. And my habit is connected with my perception, my experience. Like I've trust someone, they have betrayed me. My experience is bitterness. And I have developed that habit of not trusting people. So here it is. I want to make a change. I start creating beautiful thoughts that everyone, every soul is my brother, soul, my brother and sister, part of my human family. Everyone is part of the global human family. So we are all one. So I have to love everyone unconditionally. And in this way, I will start changing my perception. And one day I'll be able to change my habits.
Beautiful. Well, we have two more comments I want to share with you before we move on. And one is from Sister Miriam saying it's a pleasure to hear you again from St. Martin. Do you know Miriam? And
I'm not sure.
okay, I'll read what she wrote. Excuse me while I close this, put that. And she said, thank you so much. So grateful to see you again and be able to listen to your wise words. Om Shanti.
Oh,
Marion from
I
St.
know.
Martin.
I
Right.
know. I know now. Just
Okay.
returned back from Spain. Yes.
And the other is someone who's hoping that this will be recorded. Usually they are, and I don't know, but sometimes we do record. Mostly we do. I was especially touched, I just want to say, by not only the example you gave of the young woman who came and was very angry about the dog and the neighbor, but you walk your talk. because as I listen to you tell that story, I think the most important thing is that the mind, as a defender of the ego, as the protector, has to first admit, and the way you patiently planted a seed in her mind, and she got defensive. Oh no, it's their fault. And when you, the third time, said, or would you still be an angry person if they, it was just that insight, that light bulb that went in her head. So as you present, you have to be ego free. You have to be serving her. And I think maybe that's the most difficult thing for most of us who are not used to thinking the Brahmin way. And I know that one of the essential things that I found so valuable about taking the course here was to take off my eyeglasses and put on the God lenses and see how, and you modeled it beautifully for us tonight. So before we move any further, it is getting a bit late. Would you be willing to lead us in a reflective commentary or anything else you'd like to say before to put the icing on tonight's beautiful cake that you've given us as a gift?
I know it's your approach every session to end with some meditation.
Yes.
So I wouldn't mind conducting some meditation.
Thank you.
All right. So I just let us step inwards to connect with who I really am. Let me sit comfortably and quietly, and with the eye of my mind, I create a feeling that my mind is my secret place. Just visualize your mind as a crystal clear bowl of absolutely still water, so clean, so pure. Just hold this image in your mind. It is the natural state of the mind. With my ears, this gateway into my mind, I hear comments, I hear words, I let them in my ears, and it drives my thinking, and my sacred space become disturbed. With my eyes, I see people's behavior, I see situations, I let them enter my mind through my eyes, and I begin to overthink. It seems right now that the world is driving my mind. I have lost my inner power. But now I choose to create the thoughts I really want to create. I am the creator of my own thoughts. I take back my inner authority. What are some of those thoughts that I should create that allows me to take back my mind, to take back control of my mind and make it that still, clean, and peaceful place? These are the thoughts that can propel me to experience self awareness. Just visualize yourself as a minute spark of light, of life energy, residing in the center of your forehead. This is I, the eternal soul, the immortal, non physical energy, the child of God. When I am aware of my eternal self, then my identity with my temporary self, my body, fades. I now step back into my sacred space at peace with myself, separate myself from my temporary body, roles, responsibilities, nationality, gender, age. I just keep moving beyond all of these physical layers of temporary identity. I let go of my identity with my past, with what people have said and done. I step back into my permanent, original self. I feel myself sitting so lightly in my forehead. I'm a peaceful soul. I'm a peaceful soul. My mind cools down and I can feel the fragrance of inner peace and inner power filling my being again. Sitting in the soul conscious awareness, I look through the eye of my mind and I touch, connect, absorb the light of God. I start to experience that divine love, the highest experience of my mind. This love gives me inner strength. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. I'm unmuted. That was so beautiful. And you are such a beautiful gift to us this evening. And we hope you'll come back to us again. I can't believe how quickly this hour went. So thank you on behalf of everybody. We're getting some nice notes in chat. People thanking you. If you look at Global Harmony House on YouTube, you may find a tape of this that will pop up tomorrow. And I just have a few quick announcements. Next week, we celebrate Valentine's Day. And the topic will be opening the door of my heart. And our guest speaker will be Meredith Port from Miami. She's an independent media producer and host. So we hope you'll all join us next week. And we wish you lots of love in the coming week, preparing for the big day, the big Hallmark day. And of course, opening the heart. It's like, for me, the whole pandemic, this whole year has been an invitation to go inward and open mind and embrace exactly what you talked about tonight, which is the wisdom of the intellect to take that mind and help it decide what to think and how to feel and how to treat other people. So on behalf of everyone, thank you again so much for being with us, Sister Devki. Lovely to know you.
Same here.
And thank you all for coming. And thank you, Brother Eric. Are you there, Brother Eric?
Yes, still here. Thank you both. Louise, appreciate it. And it was wonderful. Yoki,
Beautiful.
Thank you.
down in the
Thank you,
Caribbean.
Eric.
Yes.
Okay.
Take us
Okay.
home with you. We could
Oh,
use some
yes.
warm weather.
Yes, yes. No, now with your mind, you can visualize.
There you
Of
go.
course.
Don't stay in the cold. Just
No.
visualize. Travel with your mind and see your toes twiddling the white and wet sun
Yes,
Correct.
beautiful.
and the, yes, sunlight.
Okay, will
Okay.
do.
Tonight, thank you. We'll see you next week. And may your thoughts bring you to the beach, and may you enjoy the sunshine of the Caribbean. Om Shanti.